Hello, and welcome to the very first With Our Best video review. We're here today with a two-piece cutlery set sent over by Mac Knives. And you'll see this set comes in a very fancy gift box with some Japanese writing on the front. Now, these knives are made in Japan. They're very high quality. Professional chefs use them. This set contains one 6.5-inch Santoku all-purpose knife. Now, Santoku is Japanese for three uses, roughly translated. That's slicing, dicing, and mincing. And you'll see if we get close here that this knife has these dimples. Now, what these dimples are used for is to prevent the knife from sticking to the vegetables that you're working with. This is very handy, as we'll see once we get to the demo portion. The other knife that they sent over to us is a 4-inch paring knife. Now, these knives are very useful. I'm sure you've used one before, working with smaller vegetables or for all of your paring needs. And what I would like to talk about with these knives is they claim to be the world's sharpest knives. Now, I've definitely worked with quite a few knives that say they're sharp, not nearly as sharp as these knives are. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a newspaper test. And basically all we'll do is we'll get these organized here. We'll take 4 pieces of newspaper, stack them all together, and then take this knife and show just how sharp these are. Now, if I grasp them in my hand and then take and just do a quick, you'll see that these newspaper slices just come falling right off. Now, this is incredibly sharp. You want to be very careful when working with these knives. These knives are razor sharp, and I will contest that they are some of the sharpest knives in the world. You'll see we're just slicing through this newspaper. I mean, these are really, really sharp knives. So now let's take that and do that exact same test with your run-of-the-mill, bought in the grocery store, not very sharp knife. Now, I did go ahead, just to be fair, because these knives are brand new, these Mac knives are brand new, I did go ahead and sharpen up my previously favorite chef's knife. Now, this is a little bit longer. It's not just run-of-the-mill, bought in a grocery store knife. And we're going to do the same test. We're going to get up here close, and you'll see that this knife really does not like to cut this newspaper nearly as well. So we're doing that. I mean, this is the same newspaper. Let me try and cut. It's like, I can't get it to grasp the edge, make any cuts. Oh, there we go. And look, I mean, we're ripping this newspaper. This is not nearly as sharp of a knife. So now that we've seen that these knives really do stand up to their billing of being some of the sharpest knives in the world, if not the sharpest knives in the world, let's go ahead and move on to a vegetable test. We've got a carrot and a potato over here. We're going to move in a little bit closer, and we're going to start looking at the differences between our super fancy, really nice Santoku 6.5-inch Mac knife and your run-of-the-mill chef's knife. So let's take a look at that. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our vegetable test. Now, we're going to be using our 6.5-inch Santoku knife sent over by Mac Knives on 3 different vegetables. We have a pickle, a carrot, and a potato. Let's go ahead and start with the carrot. And when you're cutting a harder vegetable, what you want to do is start at the beginning of the knife, move forward, putting a little bit of downward pressure on the knife. You'll see this knife just cuts through this carrot with incredible ease. Now, I really wish you guys could be holding this knife right now, because I really am putting very little downward pressure on this knife. Let's go ahead and try this exact same thing with the potato. Again, we're going to want to start with the front of the knife and move forward through the potato, putting downward pressure. This knife just cuts through this potato like butter. And one of the other things that's really nice about this knife is that it performs very uniform cuts. And so if I want to cut very thin slices of potato, you'll see that this knife does a fantastic job of cutting these really thin slices of potato. And I love thin slices for breakfast. So this knife is going to be perfect for cutting up these potatoes for frying or anything. I mean, we are talking just absolute paper thin slices of potato. This knife is amazing through this carrot and this potato. Now, if we're going to use the knife on a softer vegetable, like a pickle or maybe a tomato, something along those lines, your cutting style is going to be a little different. What you're going to do is you're going to start at the back of the knife and let the knife just rest on the vegetable as you pull back. Now, I am putting absolutely no pressure on this knife whatsoever, just letting the knife's weight do the work, and we are absolutely gliding through this pickle, no sweat. And again, you'll see that this knife just does a fantastic job making really super thin cuts of any of your vegetables. Most knives, they're gonna cut away from the vegetable. They're gonna get you uneven slices. This knife is not gonna do that. Now, Mac Knives went ahead and sent over a very handy sharpening tool that we're not going to use now, but I'll demo for you really quickly because these knives now, they hold a fantastic edge, but like any knife, you're going to need to sharpen it every once in a while. Now this handy little roller sharper that Mac Knives sent over to us, you're just going to put the knife in straight like that and then go back and forth in a sawing motion 10 times. And this is going to return your knife to have this incredible razor sharp edge on it, and you're really going to be impressed with how well these knives hold an edge. So there you have it. We highly recommend this 2-piece cutlery set sent over to us from Mac Knives. And again, it contains the 6.5-inch all-purpose Santoku knife and the 4-inch Santoku paring knife. Comes in a very nice gift box. If you do have a chef in your family or somebody that just enjoys cooking, I don't think you could go wrong with this fantastic gift set from Mac Knives. So thank you to Mac Knives for sending over this sample for us to demo, and thank you to you, our readers and viewers, for checking out this very first edition of the With Our Best video review. Thanks, and have a great day.